Hi, I'm Jason from Worship Artistry, and in this video, we're going to talk about how to find the right key for your voice. Now, we're going to talk about a number of things. We're going to talk about why that's important, why it's important for your voice. We're going to talk about the two main things you need to focus on to find the right key, and we're going to talk about some quick and easy ways to transpose. So let's dive in. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, Jason, isn't it most important that I find the right key for the congregation? Because they're the ones that we want to hear sing. No. That is not the right answer, and there's a couple reasons why. First off, when I'm a congregant, I'm safe. I'm surrounded by lots of voices of varying abilities, right? Some people can really belt it out. Other people, maybe not so much. I can hide, I can sing a low octave, or I can just belt it out, and honestly, you won't be able to tell if I'm doing a good job or not. You, on the other hand, are the leader, and you have a microphone, which means that your voice is louder and more exposed than everybody else's. And since you're the leader, I'm the congregant, I am letting you lead me, right? If you feel confident and comfortable, well, you know what? I'm gonna feel comfortable following you. But if you're struggling, if you're kind of backing off the microphone or it's hard to hear you because you're singing so low, it's hard for me to follow you because I'm nervous for you. I'm watching you going, oh, I hope that they make this. And I'm not focused on what I'm supposed to be, which is worshiping God with music. So, however you want to think about it, it's very important that the key fits your voice. So the question now is, how do you get that? There are two main things we need to think about when choosing a key for our voice. The first is just the range of the song. That's the lowest note to the highest. Can we comfortably hit all those notes in there? And we're going to talk about finding that. And the other is carrying the right amount of energy for the song. Sometimes you can feel really comfortable with the notes, but it can just sound dead because you're not in the right key. So let's talk about how to find that. Let's take the song Great Are You, Lord. Now this song was originally recorded by All Sons and Daughters in the key of A. And I like to start there. I like to just go, well, that's kind of what it's meant to be in. Let's just see how it fits my voice. So I'm gonna capo here, and I'm gonna use G shapes. We're gonna start in the key of A. And I'm gonna explain why that is later, but for now, just know we're in the key of A. You give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness. Great are you, Lord. Good so far. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's a little bit of a jump. And to be honest, I don't want to be thinking about any notes. When I'm leading worship, I just want to know that I can hit them all. So that note I know is a little bit high for me, but everything else was okay. Let's see, normally I would drop down to G because I want to stay on single notes. That one's an A. Ideally, when I say single notes, I mean natural notes. So normally when I start on an A, well, I'm going to want to jump down a full step to get to G just because I know it's going to be easier for my team. You give life, you are love. You bring light to the darkness. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath. That's okay. I feel pretty comfortable with that, but just for kicks, I'm going to drop it down now. Because I'm getting lower than G, I'm just going to jump up to, I'm going to go down to F, but I'm going to capo it on the 5th fret. Play it with C shapes. Once again, we'll talk about why later. I'm just gonna go right from the chorus because that's the highest part, right? So, it's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise, it's your breath. Ooh, that's easy. That is real nice. Now here's the problem. Sitting in this studio, talking to a camera, just sitting on a couch. Maybe if there was a small group here, Nick's back there, I'm kind of singing to him. Hey. In that scenario, you can sing quieter. You can kind of get a little lower. The energy is different. I can't tell you how many times I've prepared a set list in my living room and then gotten there on Sunday morning and been like, man, this is just low. There's no energy to it. Because singing to my living room, and that energy is very different than that Sunday morning energy. So usually when I find a super comfortable spot, I go, let me try it a little higher. Now, I already did it in G. That was okay, But the way to really figure it out is to try and recreate the Sunday atmosphere a little bit, right? You can kind of mimic that energy. For one, I'm not sitting on a couch in a comfortable living room on Sunday, right? I'm in front of a microphone. I'm standing up. I'm projecting much more. I'm looking around. And so let's give that a try. You give life. You are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give hope. You restore every heart that is broken. Oh, great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. Oh, great are you, Lord. Yeah, key of G will work. There. So we know G works really well. It's going to work great on Sunday, and that means I'm not going to surprise my team on Sunday morning by switching the key at the last second. Now here's the thing. I've been doing this for a pretty long time. I'm not the greatest singer in the world, so I've always had to kind of find the right key for me, and I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And one of the things I've learned is I am pretty comfortable hitting a D note. I can hit an E, especially when I'm projecting. It's a lot easier that way. If I'm really going for it and it's like a high, like just belted out note, I can get up to an F sharp. So I kind of know where I'm comfortable. And depending on the song, you might think to yourself, well, songs in the key of E, they must go up to E, or songs in the key of D only go up to D, or thinking about like those are always the high notes in songs, but it really varies. I had one song that I was singing in E forever and then switched it to, and I realized I was like, well, my highest note is a B, which means, gosh, I could easily go to G. And then I led it in G that Sunday, and it was like everyone sang louder because it was much easier to sing. So kind of knowing where your high notes are supposed to be and kind of what you're comfortable with, that already gives you kind of a starting point. So it can be kind of a shortcut the more time that you spend preparing songs for your voice. So you figured out what key you're supposed to be in. Maybe you just picked up some bass notes. How do you actually transpose the song? There are a couple of really easy ways to do that. If you're a Worship Artistry member, it's real easy. You just click this thing right here. And that'll transpose everything, your sheet music, your chord charts, and the audio of the song. So it makes it much easier to send to your team. They can practice along in the right key and you're in good shape. If you're a guitarist, a capo is a great way to do it. I said earlier, I was going to show you why I started in G. And the reason is, I can very comfortably, with a capo, go from the key of G, and I can walk my way all the way up to this 5th fret very comfortably till I get to the key of C. And it'll sound good anywhere in there. And if I want to go higher, well, I can just switch to C shapes. So here I'm playing in the key of C. If I want to go to D, I go there, and so on and so forth. I can just kind of find my way. So one thing I'll do before I even try and like figure out all the chords, I'll just pick the bass note, you know, for example, like I said with Great Are You, Lord. If I'm kind of in a hurry, I'll kind of go, you give life, you are love, you bring light to the darkness. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs. Pour out our praise, we pour out our praise. Okay, cool, I know that's all right. And then I'll try and figure out the chords from there. So it's kind of a way to do it really quickly. Another thing that you can do is use this clever little tool. It's called a chordii, and it very easily helps you transpose. I can't really see it while I'm doing this, but it very easily helps you transpose keys and get all the right chords in it. So it's just a way that you can throw that in your guitar case, you can throw it in your keyboard case, you can leave it by your drum kit if keys matter to you as a drummer. It's just a great way to very quickly be able to change keys. And finally, here's a pro tip. Once you know what key the song is going to be in, let your team know. I know for myself, I like to practice in advance. I like to be warmed up. I like to know what's happening when I come in on Sunday. And when the worship leader decides, oh, my voice is, it's a little different, we're actually going to drop it a whole step. At the last second, yeah, I can transpose. I'm pretty good at music. But it's way easier if I don't have to transpose. So if you can let your team know in advance, maybe even send them some worship artistry lessons in the right key, you'll be in much better shape. So remember, it's important to find songs that match your voice. You're going to sound way better. It's important to have the right range and bring the right energy. And it's important to know how to transpose and actually put the songs in those keys. And if you need any help with that, worshipartistry.com has over 700 song tutorials, and they're all transposable, makes it super easy to find the key for your voice. And if awesome subscription services aren't really your thing, well, you can just like and subscribe this video. That would be really helpful. And if you have any other thoughts, I don't know everything about transposing. I have the ways I do it. I'm sure you have some great ways as well. I'd love to know in the comments. We'll see you there.